Push yourself to organize your life, not because you need to become perfect overnight, but because your future deserves a stronger foundation than confusion, distraction, from constant reaction. Too many people wake up each day without a clear direction, and then they wonder why their goals feel distant. A disorganized life does not only affect your room, your schedule, or your finances. It affects your focus, your confidence, your energy, and your ability to make progress. Organization is not about controlling every detail of life. It is about creating enough structure that your energy can be used for growth instead of constant recovery. When your environment is chaotic, your mind often becomes chaotic. When your schedule is unclear, your priorities become unclear. And when your priorities are unclear, you begin spending your days reacting to whatever appears in front of you, instead of building the life you truly want. There was a time when I believed that being busy meant I was making progress. My days were full, but my results were scattered. I was working hard, yet I often felt exhausted without knowing exactly what I had accomplished. One day I realized that effort without organization can become a trap. You can spend hours moving and still remain in the same place if your actions are not directed toward meaningful priorities. That realization changed the way I approached my life. I began by organizing the small things first. I cleaned my workspace. I created a simple schedule. I wrote down my priorities. I removed distractions that were stealing my time. At first, these changes seemed minor, but over time they created a powerful shift. My mind became clearer. My decisions became easier. My energy became more focused, and my progress became more consistent. Push yourself to organize your life by starting with your environment. Your surroundings influence your mindset more than you may realize. A cluttered space can create mental fatigue. It can make simple tasks feel overwhelming. It can constantly remind you of unfinished responsibilities. But when you create a clean and organized environment, you send a message to yourself that you are ready to take control. You create a space where focus can grow. Next, organize your time. Time is one of the most valuable resources you have, yet many people spend it without intention. They wake up and allow the day to decide what happens to them. Instead, decide what matters before the day begins. Identify your most important tasks. Set aside time for meaningful work. Protect your focus from distractions. When you organize your time, you stop treating your goals like random wishes and start treating them like priorities. Organization also requires honesty. Be honest about the habits that are wasting your time. Be honest about the commitments that no longer serve your growth. Be honest about the excuses you have been using to avoid responsibility. You cannot organize your life while continuing to protect the patterns that are creating disorder. Growth begins when you are willing to examine your habits and make difficult adjustments. One of the most important areas to organize is your mind. Mental clutter can be just as exhausting as physical clutter. Constant worry, overthinking, unresolved decisions, and negative self-talk can drain your energy and make it difficult to focus. Take time to clear your mind. Write down your thoughts. Reflect on what is truly important. Let go of unnecessary mental noise. A clear mind allows you to make better decisions and pursue your goals with greater confidence. Push yourself to organize your finances as well. Financial stress often comes from a lack of clarity. When you do not know where your money is going, it becomes difficult to plan for the future. Create a simple system for tracking income, expenses, savings, and goals. Financial organization is not about having a perfect budget. It is about becoming aware of your choices and making decisions that support your long-term well-being. Another important step is organizing your relationships. Surround yourself with people who encourage your growth, challenge you to improve, and respect your boundaries. Let go of relationships that constantly drain your energy or pull you away from your values. A well-organized life includes healthy boundaries and meaningful connections. You do not need to spend your energy trying to please everyone. You need to invest your energy in relationships that bring positivity, accountability, and support into your life. As you organize your life, Remember that small changes create powerful momentum. You do not need to transform everything in one day. Start with one drawer. Start with 1 hour of focused work. Start with one healthy habit. Start with one financial decision. Start with one conversation that needs to happen. Small actions repeated consistently can create a dramatic transformation over time. There will be moments when organization feels difficult. You may feel tempted to return to old habits. You may feel overwhelmed by how much needs to change. In those moments, focus on progress rather than perfection. A small, organized step is still a step forward. Every time you choose order over chaos, planning over procrastination, and discipline over distraction, you strengthen your ability to create a better life. Think about a builder constructing a strong house. The builder does not begin with decoration. The builder begins with the foundation. In the same way, organizing your life is about strengthening your foundation. It is about creating systems that support your goals, habits that support your health, routines that support your productivity, and boundaries that support your peace. A strong foundation allows you to handle greater responsibility without becoming overwhelmed. Organization also builds confidence. When you know what needs to be done, when your priorities are clear, when your environment supports your focus, you feel more capable. You spend less time searching for lost items, missing deadlines, and reacting to unnecessary stress. Instead, you spend more time creating, learning, improving, and moving toward your goals. Confidence grows when your life becomes more aligned with your intentions. Do not confuse organization with restriction. A well-organized life does not limit your freedom. It increases your freedom. When your responsibilities are managed, your time is protected, and your priorities are clear, you have more space for creativity, relationships, rest, and meaningful experiences. Disorder often creates hidden stress that steals your freedom. Organization creates clarity that gives you room to breathe and grow. Push yourself to organize your life because your future self is depending on the decisions you make. The habits you build now will shape the opportunities you can pursue later. The discipline you develop now will determine how you handle future responsibilities. The clarity you create now will help you recognize the right opportunities when they appear. Every organized choice is a vote for the person you want to become. When you clean your space, you are choosing clarity. When you plan your day, you are choosing intention. When you manage your finances, you are choosing responsibility. When you protect your time, you are choosing focus. When you establish healthy boundaries, you are choosing peace. These choices may seem small individually, but together they create a life that is more stable, productive, and purposeful. One day, you will look back and realize that organizing your life was not just about cleaning, planning, or scheduling. It was about taking ownership of your future. It was about refusing to let chaos control your direction. It was about creating a life where your goals had room to grow. So push yourself to organize your life. Organize your environment. Organize your time. Organize your habits. Organize your finances. Organize your relationships. Organize your mind.
Do not wait for life to become less complicated before you create order. Create order now, and let that order become the foundation for the success, peace, and growth you are working toward. Your life does not have to remain scattered. Your goals do not have to remain distant. Your days do not have to feel controlled by chaos. You have the ability to create structure, clarity, and direction. Start with one decision today. Start with one organized action. Start with one commitment to become more intentional. Then continue building, one step at a time, until your life reflects the discipline, focus, and purpose you know you are capable of achieving. And when you begin to build that discipline, something powerful starts to happen.
Your life no longer feels like a series of random events pulling you in different directions. You begin to feel more in control. You begin to understand where your time is going, where your energy is being spent, and what habits are helping you grow versus what habits are holding you back. This awareness is the first real sign that organization is working. It gives you the ability to make choices instead of constantly reacting to circumstances. Push yourself to organize your life by creating systems that reduce unnecessary decision-making. Many people become mentally exhausted not because they are doing too much important work, but because they are constantly making small, unplanned decisions throughout the day. They decide what to wear at the last minute, what task to do next, when to start working, when to stop scrolling, and when to handle responsibilities. These repeated decisions drain mental energy. But when you create simple systems, such as planning your day the night before, preparing your workspace, setting specific work times, and establishing routines, you free your mind to focus on what truly matters. A well-organized life does not remove all challenges, but it helps you respond to challenges with greater clarity. Imagine two people facing the same stressful situation. One person has a chaotic schedule, unfinished tasks, financial confusion, and no clear priorities. The other person has a structured routine, organized responsibilities, and a clear understanding of what needs to be done. The second person may still feel pressure, but they are better equipped to handle it because their foundation is stronger. Organization creates stability, and stability creates resilience. One of the most important areas to organize is your goals. Many people say they want success, health, financial freedom, confidence, or peace, but they have never clearly defined what those goals mean to them. Vague goals create vague results. If you want to organize your life, take time to define your goals clearly. What do you want to achieve? Why does it matter to you? What daily actions will move you closer to that goal? When your goals are clear, your decisions become easier. You can ask yourself whether a habit, activity, or commitment is helping you move toward the life you want. Push yourself to organize your priorities. Not everything deserves the same level of attention. Some tasks are urgent, but not important. Some activities are enjoyable, but not productive. Some commitments may be keeping you busy while preventing you from focusing on what truly matters. Learn to identify the tasks that create the greatest positive impact in your life. Protect time for those priorities. This may require saying no to distractions, unnecessary obligations, and habits that consume time without adding value. Organization also requires discipline in the digital world. Phones, social media, notifications, and endless entertainment can quietly create a scattered life. Hours can disappear without meaningful progress. Push yourself to set boundaries around your digital habits. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Limit time on distracting apps. Create periods of focused work without checking your phone. Use technology as a tool, not as a constant source of interruption. When you regain control over your digital habits, you regain control over your attention. Another powerful step is to organize your mornings. The way you begin your day often influences the rest of your day. A rushed, reactive morning can create stress before you have even started your most important work. A structured morning can create momentum. Wake up with enough time to prepare yourself mentally and physically. Review your priorities. Spend time in reflection, exercise, reading, planning, or any practice that strengthens your mindset. A strong morning routine does not need to be complicated. It simply needs to be intentional. Push yourself to organize your evenings as well. Before the day ends, take a few minutes to prepare for tomorrow. Review what you accomplished. Identify what still needs attention. Plan your most important tasks for the next day. Tidy your workspace or living space if needed. This small habit can reduce morning stress and help you begin the next day with clarity. Evening preparation is a quiet investment in tomorrow's success. Organization is also about protecting your peace. A constantly cluttered environment, overloaded schedule, and unresolved responsibilities can create ongoing stress. You may not always notice it immediately, but it can affect your mood, energy, and ability to think clearly. By organizing your life, you create space for calm. You create an environment where you can rest more deeply, focus more effectively, and make decisions with less mental noise. Peace is not always found by escaping responsibility. Sometimes peace is created by managing responsibility with wisdom. As you continue organizing your life, remember that consistency is more important than intensity. You do not need one perfect day of organization. You need repeated days of intentional choices. Clean a small area regularly. Review your goals consistently. Plan your days with purpose. Manage your finances with awareness. Protect your time from distractions. Small, organized actions, repeated over weeks and months, create a life that feels dramatically different from one ruled by chaos. There will be setbacks. Some days will not go according to plan. You may fall behind on tasks, become distracted, or feel overwhelmed by responsibilities. Do not let one difficult day become a reason to abandon the process. Organization is not about maintaining perfect control at all times. It is about having a system that helps you recover and refocus. When you notice disorder returning, calmly return to the habits that restore clarity. Clean your space. Review your priorities. Make a plan and take the next right step. Think about a garden. A garden does not become beautiful by accident. It requires regular attention. Weeds must be removed. Plants must be watered. Soil must be cared for. In the same way, your life requires regular maintenance. Distractions, bad habits, and unnecessary commitments can grow quickly if they are not managed. But when you consistently care for your habits, routines, and environment, you create conditions where growth becomes much more likely. Push yourself to organize your life, because organization is a form of self-respect. When you take care of your environment, your schedule, your finances, and your habits, you are sending a message to yourself that your life matters. You are saying that your goals are worth protecting. You are saying that your peace is worth preserving. You are saying that your future is worth preparing for. This mindset changes the way you approach daily responsibilities. They no longer feel like random burdens. They become part of building the life you want. A well-organized life also creates more opportunities. When you are prepared, focused, and disciplined, you are more likely to recognize and take advantage of opportunities when they appear. You are more likely to meet deadlines, follow through on commitments, and present yourself with confidence. Opportunities often favor people who are ready. Organization helps you become ready. So continue pushing yourself to organize your life. Continue creating systems that support your goals. Continue removing distractions that steal your focus. Continue building habits that strengthen your discipline. Continue protecting your time, energy, and peace. The process may not always feel exciting, but it is powerful. It is shaping a version of you that is more focused, more capable, and more prepared for the future. And one day, you will look back and realize that organization was not just about keeping things neat. It was about creating a life where your priorities had room to grow. It was about turning scattered effort into meaningful progress. It was about replacing chaos with clarity, stress with structure, and confusion with direction. That is the power of organizing your life. It gives you the foundation to pursue your goals with confidence and the stability to continue growing long after the initial motivation has faded.